Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for all those of you who are watching us here on multiple platforms. Those of you watching on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter TV, Twitch, and also on Roku via Tiki Live and the Phoenix Entertainment Group channel. We thank you for watching us today. I am the host. There's my information right there, Minister Jonathan Simmons. You can follow us on social media. Follow the show at Real Talk Sports 7 or follow me personally at Minister J. Sim. Well, anytime we have this show, I have one of the most beautiful women on sports talk radio or TV. We simply call her the Queen. Tree Dolman is in the building. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
Praise the Lord. All right. And also, when we have this show, we have a queen, we have a minister, but we also have a champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, a longtime veteran of the NFL, and very recently, he's inducted to the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. The one and only Tyrone Poole is in the building.
Hello, greetings everybody. How you doing, Miss Tree, the Queen? How you doing, Jonathan? Hello, everybody watching and listening. Welcome to another episode of Real Sports Talk.
I like that. That's like the hype man came in. He said, "Get boom right there." But listen, got to have a hype man. That's it. So hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Tree, what did you do this weekend?
I worked and watched sports. What did you do?
I kind of did the same thing. It was actually my birthday this week. Saturday was my birthday.
Really? And you didn't tell us
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to Jonathan.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, and thank you. Yes, it was my birthday on Saturday. I cannot forget it because I share the birthday with Dr. Martin Luther King. He was born before me, about 30 years before me, on the same day, January 15th. So very excited. And I did what I always do on my birthday. I worked. I went to work and sold a car. So that was my birthday gift right there.
That'll work.
And I see that, Tree, you brought in Sparkle to also wish me happy birthday. So, Sparkle, appreciate you too. Thank you so much.
Birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
He gonna say, happy birthday.
Tyrone.
She's like, what's that noise?
Mark and say happy birthday, Tree.
Tyrone, don't excite Sparkle because she might start running around. So don't do it. Don't excite her. All right. All right, guys. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports, both on and off the court. We've had some news revolving COVID. COVID once again is specter over sports. Also, we got news that Naomi Osaka is back. She thinks she has hopefully conquered some of the demons that drove her off the court, so she is back at the Australian Open. But speaking of that, guys, let's take a look here at what we're going to talk about tonight. Like I said, COVID is now once again bringing up nasty issues in the world of sports. Hawks big win over the Bucks after the Cam Reddish trade, and my question is, why did the Hawks trade him? NFL playoff recap: Bills and Patriots, Rams, Cardinals, Dallas and the 49ers, and Raiders and Bengals. Well, first of all, did you hear anything about this whole situation with, I always pronounce his name incorrectly, Djokovic, who is one of the greatest tennis players of all time, was actually, after multiple court battles, banned from Australia. They kicked him out. Matter of fact, I think I got it on YouTube here right behind me. I'm trying to click it back on here. But yeah, they said, hey, man, beat it. They threw him out. And I don't know if you guys can see the TV behind me. I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit.
Yes, we can see it.
And there he is exiting the premises. And there's a reporter right there talking about that. And again, it is drama. The Australian Open has started. And Djokovic says he's extremely disappointed that he was asked to exit the premises, but he will not get a chance to do what he does best. He's one of the best tennis players in the world. And unfortunately, he will not be able to once again compete for another Grand Slam title. All right, I'm going to go in the room and ask you what you think about that real quick. Tyrone, what are your thoughts about the idea of him not being able to play in the Grand Slam tournament at all?
Well, again, I don't know all of the insights of the story, but there's always two sides of the story. But there has to be a great reason for him not, being able to participate. So I really
not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, so they basically in Australia they have pretty much ironclad rules that you have to be vaccinated when entering the country, and evidently, very much like Aaron Rodgers, he kind of made it seem like he was okay with whatever natural remedies he was using. And Australia said, "Good news or bad news, you don't have an actual vaccination card. Whatever kind of inoculation you're doing at the house, they ain't gonna make it, bro." And even though he had tested negative, I guess a couple of times before he came, because he actually tested positive back during the holidays, the Australian court said, "Thanks, but no thanks." And so one of the great tennis players in the history of tennis is not going to be able to play in a Grand Slam tournament. Tree, you pointed out right again, it's about the vaccination. Your thoughts, if any, about Djokovic not being able to play in the Australian Open?
I mean, my thoughts are, the rules are the rules. I understand that he wasn't vaccinated. And so when he first flew there, they wouldn't allow him in the country. So then his legal team had a legal matter, and then he was allowed to stay. So then he thought he would be able to play. But then they revoked his visa yet again. And then that's when he went to court the second time. But that time is when they told him that he could not play and he had to leave because his visa would not be accepted because he didn't have a vaccination. So, I mean, I understand the rules are the rules, just like how Kyrie Irving can't play at home games. It's the rules. If you're not vaccinated, you can't play at home. So I understand. There's not much to be said about it. We all have choices. And like I say, the rules are the rules.
No doubt. And Kyrie Irving has made the statement that he is not going to change his vaccination status, even though that KD, who was possibly heading to an MVP season, is going to be out for at least 4 to 5 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks. But Tyree said, "Listen, I already made my decision. I'm not doing it. So if it means I only play away games, that's it." Let's go to social media, see if we got some comments right here. Todd always in the middle of it. Right. And he said that he lied in his application. See, I don't know what happened. When Todd came on, Sparkle got a little excited.
Well, no, she heard some noise outside. That's why.
I thought that was a little flashback on Todd. Another thing he says is French Open is banning him too, and he said he ended up selling cars. Well, the thing about it is, Djokovic made enough money. He ain't got to be worrying about selling cars like me. He's made a lot of money playing tennis, a lot of endorsements off the field, but clearly it's going to be decision for a lot of people. I mean, it's going to be basically how far are you going to walk in whatever belief or you could call integrity that you have once you made a decision, because this is now this man is in, and both of these players in the prime of their lives. And so Djokovic has a chance to basically break a record if he wins. I think it's 2 or 3 more Grand Slams. And now he's down 1 and possibly down a second. And Tyrone and Tree, the same thing. Your shelf life as an athlete has a limited time.
Yeah, and I think you made a great point. You mentioned they're in their primes, whether it's Kyrie Irving or Djokovic. It doesn't really matter. I think they can take time off and then come back. So really, decision-wise, they're not really up under pressure as far as someone who may be at the end of their career or elderly. It's like your decisions become more prominent the longer or the less time you feel like you have. So, I'm kind of glad that these athletes are using their platforms to stand up for what they believe in. And at the same time, like I said, I must say that I am not an anti-vax person. I'm just an anti-information, complete information person. And but hey, if you are willing to do the time, if there is some type of punishment levied, then hey, go for it. But I do think there will they have opened up people's eyes and ears, and so at the end of the day, hey, I support them.
Yeah. Bottom line is you got to do what you got to do. You have to do what you think is best for you and your family. I know a lot of people saying, well, you're putting other people in jeopardy. Well, to me, if you're testing repeatedly and you're getting consistent negative tests, you're not putting anybody in jeopardy because you're not infected. So that's really it. Let's go to Todd here. Todd said, I got both shots. He said the booster is the deal breaker for me. The booster is killing people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm like Tyrone. People ask me why, my thoughts about this are they are because it's just too much. The information curve continues to basically take a curve. And I understand that there are some aspects of the disease that, we may not know about. But in my mind, I can't have the so-called experts constantly changing their opinion on what is safe, what's not safe, what I should do and not what I should not do. So that's the only reason why, the main reason why I've kind of felt a little uncertain because it's always, some type of new, statement or new policy, coming forth. And to me, until they have that policy kind of straightened out, it's going to be hard for me to move ahead past where I'm at right now. So again, whether you vax or not vax, I love you. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference to me. But I think that at some point, this is all going to hit the fan stronger than it is now because you just can't really force people, to do something like this when there's some uncertainty. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, really quickly, Miss Osaki is back. We talked about the mental health issues on the show before. What do you guys think about her coming back? She had mentioned in the press conference she feels a little bit more comfortable with herself. And she said something very interesting. I'll mention both of you because you guys have competed, obviously at the highest level. And Tyrone, you've competed for the Super Bowl. She said something about wanting to have fun, and she's really trying to focus on that versus the sheer competition. Is it possible to be an elite champion and kind of just make it all fun, or do you really have to kind of have that kind of, I don't know what I'm looking for here, that competitive streak that takes some of the fun out of it? I'm going to ask you first, Tree.
Well, for me, I have fun when I'm winning. So that's what's fun for me. But it doesn't take any of the competitiveness out of it because even when I'm playing, I'm training very hard. I'm training multiple times a day. I'm going 110. Like, I don't know how to not go hard. Like, I go all out. Doesn't matter where I'm in practice. Doesn't matter whether it's a game, which how I practice is how the games are so easy to me because of how hard I've practiced and how hard I've trained, because champions are built in the gym. Every champion knows that, especially Tyrone, since he's a two-time champion with the Super Bowl in the NFL. But for me, I'm not having fun if I'm not winning because I work too hard. I train too hard. And so when I'm actually succeeding in doing the things that I've worked hard to do and winning, because that usually does happen when you do the things that you're trained to do the correct way, then you typically do win. And that's when I'm having fun. If I'm not winning, I'm not having fun. So no, that's just my philosophy.
Tyrone, your thoughts about this idea of just, having fun?
Yeah, I definitely got to have fun. You got to have fun. But what I like what Naomi also said, she says, kind of quoting her a little bit, there was a time after the French Open where I felt like everyone was judging me. So I think she's gotten the mindset now that she has said that she don't give bleep, bleep, bleep about what people think anymore. So I'm like, at that point, I just think that's how you got to be. You have to be like that. If you're going to be a top-notch athlete, a top-notch anything, when you're at the top, people they're come gunning for you. And you just got to be able to let it roll off your back like water on a duck's back, as they would say. Let it roll away like water on a duck's back. People going to say what they want to say. At the end of the day, if you don't respond back to them, their words just go in silence. So, yes, you want to have fun, but at the same time, forget about what people say, I think.
Yeah, that's why I took away from it, too, as far as her growth. She said, hey, same thing. I just want to basically, she said something very interesting. She said, I'm learning how to be more selfish in a positive way. And like you said, not letting things affect you, not overbooking yourself in schedule and so forth. So, hopefully, prayerfully, you know, they can do what they do. Todd, of course, got to get that one last shot in before we go to break. When people say when people say that, don't believe what they say. They do care. Well, we all care. I mean, nobody really wants to pick up the newspaper or something.
That's not true. I really don't care. I'm one of those people.
Hold on a second.
Come on, Tree. Come on, Tree.
But hang on, we'll take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back with the Real Talk Sports Show. But just remember, 30 seconds, guys, because the Tree is about to launch it as the Queen only can do. Hang on. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. All right, the Queen has a proclamation.
Well, I just want to say to Todd and anybody else that thinks that people say, "Oh, I don't care what people think," and that they really do care. Some of us really don't care. I know that's for me. I used to live my life where I did care. But one thing that I have learned is that people will always put you down, whether you're being positive or not. You can't please people. So that's why I don't try. I live my life to please God. I live my life to continue to please my husband, and he's in heaven, and yet and still, I still want to continue to make him proud of me. And I live my life for myself. Outside of that, honestly, you can't please people. So I don't try. Like, I truly live my life to please God, and I'm good. Because if you just would know half of my story, or how many people, you know, when you're nice, people always try to take advantage of you. And so that's what actually brought me to this point where I don't try to please people. And I really could care less what people think. That's just my opinion. So I'm one of the ones where I really don't care. So I just want to throw that out there.
You know what, Tree? You ain't the only one. I'm right there. I second that vote. You know what? I don't give a flip what they think, what they say. But at the end of the day, you can't stop what has already been given for me. The only person that can stop me is me. And, you know, people gonna always talk negative. And to me, the ones who you can really distinguish who you truly are by those who talk negative about you. Because like I heard a guy say one time, a robber don't rob anybody who don't have nothing. So if people talking about you, then that means you got something. That means you are somebody. So that's why they try to break you down. But you know what? Don't listen to what they're saying. You know, but anyways, man, I can go on and on. But Tree, I give you high five on that one there. Yeah, virtual high five.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna put into the context like this. They had a commercial, and the lady would come on very beautiful. She said, "Don't hate me because I'm beautiful." And that's what I'm sensing. I'm sensing haterade. All right. Let's shift gears and talk some basketball here. We want to talk about our Atlanta Hawks. Finally won a game at home, a big game against Milwaukee Bucks, and we want to bring the experts in as we always do. This gentleman has been doing wonderful things covering the Hawks, both as what we call new media and now has a dynamic podcast. We just know him as the sensational E-Dub is back in the building. What's going on, brother?
Happy New Year, guys. I haven't talked to you guys in the new year. So, Miss Dolman, Brother Poole, Brother Simmons, how y'all doing?
Doing all right. Happy New Year.
I'm doing great, man, because I'm a year older, bro. So I'm feeling some kind of way.
Hey, man, blessings. You know, our birthday's in January, man. Mine's coming up on the 22nd. So happy birthday, brother.
What? A week after me, man. Happy birthday. Hey.
Yeah. Right. God is good.
He is good. Yeah, even those numbers are looking real big and scary right now for me. I'm like, dang, well, I can't tell you what I'm like. Anyway, bottom line, I'm happy to be here because if those numbers weren't big, that means I'd be in the ground. So,
hey,
amen.
Indeed.
All right, I'll let the panel go first. Tree, any questions for E-Dub, especially after this big win by the Hawks last night?
I do. So I've been hearing, which first of all, I must say I was not happy that they traded Cam Reddish. Anybody that knows me knows that John Collins is my favorite player. And then after that is Clint Capella. But I loved Cam because he just always came in and played so hard. So I did hear after they won the game the other night that they were saying that before the trades, that they were having problems in the locker room, which was one of my concerns with maybe they traded him because there was a problem in the locker room that people weren't talking about. So I just want to know, have you heard anything about that? Or if not, why do you think they traded Cam?
Well, Cam Reddish actually requested to be traded in the offseason. He wanted a bigger role because, it's up for him it's almost time for him to get his money. And he requested to be traded. And Travis said, I'm going to trade you, but, I'm not going to just do it for anything. So he wanted to at least get a first round deal in the package. And the Knicks were the only one that offered him that first round deal. The Lakers, the Mavs, the Nuggets, I think it was 3 or 4 teams that offered several second round picks from Cam. But the Knicks were the only one that attached the first rounder to it. And so Travis gave him what he wanted. Now, do I believe that Cam was a result of the locker room being sour? No, I don't believe so. The kid's kind of very soft-spoken. Jonathan knows, he's interviewed him. Very soft-spoken, very quiet kid. But I can imagine him kind of wearing it on his face, So I think everything kind of added to that, Plus, they weren't winning games. When you're not winning games, of course, the locker room is going to be in shambles. But first and foremost, Cam wanted out from the beginning of the season.
That makes sense.
Tyrone,
I did hear he wanted to be paid.
Your questions for Easy E-Dub.
E-Dub, appreciate you coming on. I definitely understand that locker room, that's the most important place. It's almost like the sanctuary of a team. I've seen it happen in New England where, hey, guys, they get rid of guys, man. We've all seen it. Is there who steps up to the plate? Okay, Cam Reddish is gone. If they do something with John Collins, who are the guys now? Because if you're gonna kick somebody out, then you got to have somebody that you're looking at that you feel like is better than the person that you're kicking out. So who are the guys that have to step up now that the Hawks are saying, okay, now next man up is your turn. Produce.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Cam, the Hawks have a lot of wings. In the wing position is Bogey, is DeAndre Hunter now that he's back into the fold. Kevin Huerter is a wing. So they have a plethora of wings. As far as the locker room, if that's what you're asking, John Collins has always been kind of the raw guy. Some of the vets have been known to speak out. I know Clint Capella spoke out before a game one time. They say Gallinari and Lou Will always are those guys that will speak out in the locker room. When things are kind of tough, they keep the locker room together. So those are the kind of the raw guys. On the court, I would say DeAndre Hunter is that guy. The timing is crazy. Cam exits and DeAndre Hunter comes back the next game and has a brilliant game. It's like there's no rust on him. And he shows he showed why he is so valuable to this team. So on the court, I would say DeAndre Hunter is that guy. Off the court, I would probably just say the vets and kind of John Collins have been the voices that kind of keep everybody together, if that answers your question.
I like that, E-Dub. 1 second. E-Dub, I have you do a little housekeeping here. If you can get the camera up just a little bit because we're clipping off the top of your head there, kind. So there you go. That's the full Monty right there, baby.
Yeah,
all right,
show the grades.
That's all right, bro. Listen, you got to get some of that touch up, bro. I'll be constantly on mine, so I'm just.
Hey man, I let it flourish, man. So it's all to the good.
I'm telling you, bro. Once you get them big numbers, them crooked numbers like 5 and 6, you be like, nah, I gotta tighten it up. All right, Tyrone, go ahead with your question. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
No, you good. With all this happening with the Hawks, and they're not, I guess, quite having a season that they thought they would have, E-Dub. Now, I'm going to kind of intertwine a little bit of the Georgia Bulldogs here. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to take what I heard Kirby Smart say, and I want to ask you, do you see that, or will you see that in the Hawks locker room and on the field? Well, Kirby Smart says his philosophy, so to speak, or how he has his program going, even though we're talking about football, but sports is sports. He teaches the guys to attack the day. Keep the main thing, and do the simple things better. So with all of this happening with the Hawks right now, do you think they can refocus themselves and attack the day, keep the main thing, which is to win that title and get back into the playoffs and do the simple things better? Do you think they would do the simple things better now going forward? Says, hey, management has said, you know what, you guys better open your eyes because we'll get you up out of here if you don't do what you do.
Absolutely. Travis did put people on notice. I will say this, although the Hawks have lost after the Cam Reddish trade, they're 1-2. But I will say those 3 games, if you watch them, the intensity, the urgency, the better defense has been there. Like, I mean, they could have won those last 2 games were very winnable games. Last night, they take down the champs, on MLK Day. That is a good starting point, you know what I'm saying, for them to reel off a couple of games before the All-Star break. And then you have that whole second half of the season. Now, the season is more than half over, but there's still plenty of basketball to be played. I don't think that they'll be in one of those top-tier seeds. There is a possibility they could still get into a play-in. This is still a very talented team that hasn't had anybody together. There was a stat last night that said they played Hunter, they played Collins, and Okongwu, and it was the first time all season all 3 of those guys played together. Like, they had played 0 minutes together because of the injuries and everything. So if they can get Clint healthy, they can get Bogey healthy and just stay healthy for maybe like 5 minutes, anything is possible because there's a lot of basketball left, I believe.
No doubt. Let's go to social media here. I'm Man Todd. He said, what went wrong with the Hawks? Sir, my take, they just don't play as a team. Then he mentions that Mr. Young, talking about Trae Young, gets all the press. I think the others are jealous of the attention he gets. You play as a team. EW, like you said, we've been up close to that. I haven't seen much of that, but what are your thoughts on those comments?
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I don't know if it's a jealousy thing. I wouldn't quite say that. I mean, folks know what it is. The big dog has to eat. The Trae is obviously the star of the team, and he is paid as such. And if you was a star, you'll be making the money. I think athletes have an understanding of that. So I don't think there's any bitterness towards Trae. But when you're losing games, it's easy to point the finger. It's easy to have excuses. Everyone wants to say this, that, and the other, but the Hawks have had to deal with a lot. They've had their whole roster turned upside down from COVID. They haven't been healthy. And when they have been healthy, they haven't been playing any defense. And this is not a popular opinion, but a lot of the things that the previous coach said before he got fired were rearing their ugly head this season. So, I mean, you got to call a spade, their lack of physicality, the lack of getting defensive stops. And there have been times where they don't play together as a unit. I mean, and that happens when you go on losing streaks.
Yeah, no doubt. If you look at this team, that's been the kind of the unfortunate moniker of Hawks teams going back now almost really since you had guys like Kevin Willis patrolling the boards down there. And all those guys, the old heads, they all say the same thing. And if you remember, when we kind of new regime came in, one of the things that their marketing director and COO Steve Koonin said, well, hey, we're not trying to market this team to you old heads that are looking for Dan Roundfield to come around the corner or anything like that. And I get that. But at the end of the day, you still have to have some toughness. And Tree, that's one of her points. You have to have people in the paint that are willing to do the dirty work. Now, I'm sure that's why she likes Clint Capella so much, because Clint gets in there. He's a grubber. He's a grabber. He does what he needs to do. But I've always thought, and you've heard me talk about this, about needing another guy in the paint that can be that guy. Now, Okongwu likes to mix it up, but he's kind of scrawny. So I just feel that they need one more piece down in that paint area that can help. But let's just celebrate what they did last night. Let's go over the stats in case those of you did not know before we go to the break. Here's what it looked like. Trae Young was Trae Young. 40 minutes on the floor, 30 points, 11 assists, and even grabbed 4 rebounds. John Collins, again, the double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, a couple of assists, and a couple of blocks. And DeAndre Hunter, what can we say? Guy comes back off of injury, logs 35 minutes, puts up 20 points, has 9 rebounds, and made some big defensive plays in the fourth quarter. Danilo Gallinari seems like he's finally found his offense, 16 points, 3 rebounds. Kevin Huerter also was in double figure with 13 points and 8 rebounds. And Okongwu 12 points and 8 rebounds. So the Hawks balanced attack. Meanwhile, the Bucks were a two-man show. Giannis blocked 37 minutes, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. And Chris Middleton, who's now become a Hawks killer, 35 minutes, he had 34 points and 7 rebounds. And another pain in the Hawks. Double-double for Bobby Portis, 13 and 13. But the Hawks prevailed, doing what they hadn't done really in a while, playing well in the second half, getting 71 points in the second half, 38 points in the fourth quarter. We haven't seen that done from the Hawks since last year. So what do you think? Is this going to be a turning point where we see a long winning streak, maybe 8-9 games, or is this just a flash in the pan?
Hey, man, I would settle for 2. You know what I'm saying? Get 2 wins in a row, and then we'll go from there, you know? But last night was a team effort. That is Hawks basketball. You know, when Trey goes for 50 and 60 and everyone else has like 12 and 8, that's not Hawks basketball. That's not – and what you said when you called out the stats, everybody had key buckets. Herter had key buckets. DeAndre Hunter had the dagger. You know what I'm saying? DeAndre Hunter had the dagger. Okongwu had a great defensive play against Okongwu in the fourth quarter. Team basketball. They need to get back to that. After the game, Nate was like, these guys need to feel like they believe again. You know what I'm saying? They've gone through a lot this season. You know, Trey was at one point when Trey was like, man, I came into the gym and I don't even know these dudes shooting. You know what I mean? We had all those G League guys playing with them. He said he didn't even know those guys, you know? And so if they can get back to some semblance of normal, get their little groove back, get that cohesion. Oh, look at that. Get that cohesion as a team. I think they'll be fine. I think they can win off 3 or 4 or 5 in a row. But for now, let's just get 2 in a row. We'll talk from there.
All right, guys, hang tight real quick. We have to go to a break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Hang tight.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Yes, indeed. Please give us a call, 678-304-8121. We have some folks that can give you a nice presentation on your commercial, a voice that sounds like the big boys. So give us a call, please. We'll be more than happy to serve you. Well, E, you know, we don't like to let anybody leave before they let people know how they can find out more about them, social media, and website. So, E-Dub, the floor is yours.
Hey, man, as always, man, I enjoy coming through and talking with you good people. Check out the Hawks Beat podcast, man. One of the elite Atlanta Hawks podcasts that's out there. You can get it on all your streaming platforms. Follow us on social media at Hawks Beat. The name's right there. It's all one word. We podcast after every single game. We do some in-game stuff, so there's plenty of fresh content there. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to the pod. Drop us a 5-star rating if you got time. And as always, man, appreciate the love.
There it is. E-Dub at Hawks Beat. Appreciate you, brother. Always bringing that good news and sometimes bad news about our Atlanta Hawks. Thank you, sir.
No doubt. Y'all be good.
God bless. Yeah, I mean, the Hawks, the thing about this team is they do have the capability to do what they did last year because the pieces are in place. And there's no question, if they stay healthy, especially the key cog, no disrespect to Trey or John, is DeAndre Hunter, because he gives them that stopper on defense. He can play against the other team's wing scorer and shut them down. And he has the energy defensively that really seems like it stimulates the rest of the team, because all this energy defensively is all kind of, yeah, we know that Cam is gone, but it's really because DeAndre Hunter is back, and it seems like he makes the whole team want to at least think more about playing defense. So Hawks are going to be something to watch here in the second half.
Yeah, you know, I know we talked about this before, about out of the, you know, they measure, so to speak, 10 games. What was their record out of the last 10 games? So, you know, the Hawks right now, they have the next 10 games. They have the Timberwolves, the Hawks, the Heat, Hornets, Kings, Celtics, Lakers, Raptors, Suns. So what I would like to see because they're sitting 18-25 right now. If they can finish 7-3, it kind of moves them closer to the 500 mark. But I would like to see them finish with an 8-2 record, so to speak, out of the next 10 games. And I think that'll kind of ignite a little bit of that energy in that locker room and in the organization and with the fan base.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's really critical that you get to start playing that what they call at least winning 2 out of every 3 games or more. So you're talking 7 out of 10. That puts you just above winning 2 out of your 3 games that you play. And they're going to need to get that because, when you're 7 games under 500, you have to kind of close that gap pretty quickly. So, yeah, I think they're going to do some good stuff. They're just going to have to stay buckled down. Well, speaking of good stuff, unfortunately, it came at the expense of Tyrone's former team. The Buffalo Bills look like the real deal yesterday against your Patriots. So they kind of took it to them a little bit. 47-17. If I'm not mistaken, that was one of the worst losses of a Bill Belichick team in postseason. I don't know if you caught much of the game, Tyrone, or looked at the stats. Kind of what you think was the reason or the key to that beatdown for the Patriots.
Buffalo just a better team. Bottom line, they just a better team. So they earned it. They won the game. They did what they were supposed to do. Threw the ball, ran the ball. The Patriots couldn't stop the ball from being run. Couldn't stop the pass. And and of course, they're young. When I say young, the man who's pulling the trigger, Mac Jones. I think he has a promising future. I don't think anybody expected the Patriots to even get to the playoffs. So, and I know the guy Belichick, depending on how long he wants to stay around, because he is getting old. But the last time they didn't finish too well in the playoffs, he went out, he brought myself in, he brought Rodney Harrison in, and a couple of other players. He already had Seymour, Tom Brady was there, and next thing you know, they in the Super Bowl. So, that guy there, he could make magic. He could pull a rabbit out of a hat. But no, Buffalo earned the victory.
Yeah, and I think did you catch any of that game at all? It seemed like it got out of hand pretty quickly.
Yeah, I definitely watched.
She says
they just got outplayed.
Yeah, no doubt. It just was tough. I mean, it was the first time we really seen this. 7 times the Bills got the ball and 7 times they scored. Again, to roll up 47 points. Mac Jones, he kind of looked like a rookie. 24 of 38 in the air, which is decent. 2 touchdowns, but 2 big picks, costly picks that led to Bills points. And then the Bills, they got some payback. If you remember the last time, Tyrone, Bill Belichick in that bad weather ran it down their throats. Let's take a look at he did. I think they rushed the ball, 30-something times. Mac Jones only threw it 3 times. They roll up 246 yards. Not so much this time. This time, looking at the Patriots running attack, Damian Harris, 9 for 30. Ramondre Stevenson, 8 for 27. Mac Jones scrambled a couple of times for some decent yardage. Kendrick Bourne, 14. But overall, the team racked up nowhere near the yardage on the ground. Matter of fact, they were held to under 100 yards rushing, just 89 yards by a stout Bill defense. And then
kudos to Leslie Frazier. To Leslie Frazier, man. They should get that dude a head coaching job somewhere. So kudos to him for, hey, you're not going to do that to me a second time. That's called making adjustments. And that's what leaders do, make adjustments.
Yep. He said that Todd says that Bill isn't hungry anymore. And he says he needs to retire. And he said Bill just ain't hungry. I don't know about that. I mean, you're not going to win at the end of the day. And Tyrone, you know about this. You can have a stout defense, but your defense has to be extremely stout if you don't have a top quality trigger man to go far in the playoffs.
Yeah, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, they need a trigger man. And Ben Roethlisberger not getting it done. And look what happened. The Chiefs beat the Steelers 42-21, So, yeah, you got to have a trigger man.
Yep, no doubt. Speaking of trigger man, Josh Allen looked like a completely different quarterback than he did against the Falcons. Complete reversal, phenomenal game, dominant game. 21 of 25, only 4 incompletions, 308 yards, and not 1, not 2, not 3, 5 touchdown passes against the Patriots. And then on the ground, Devin Singletary did it along with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, 6 carries for 66 yards, critical picking up of third downs when they needed to have his feet. And Devin Singletary was just what you want. That kind of bell cow back, 16 carries for 81 yards, over 5 yards a carry. They total, they rushed for 174 yards, putting up over 450 yards of total offense. So yeah, I had nothing more to say. Bills were just dominant. This was a team that went to the AFC Championship game last year. And so before we move on, I'm going to ask both of you guys, based on what you've seen, do you think they can go back to that game and possibly go to Super Bowl? Tree, you first.
I think who can go to the Super Bowl?
All right, Tyrone.
The who?
Bills.
The Bills. I think the Bills are capable. The Bills are capable. The Bills are. That's why I got to give a little bit. They beat the Patriots, man. I got to say the who. But no, the Bills, they are very capable. So the AFC is wide open in my mind.
Right. You talked about Kansas City putting a big one on Pittsburgh, as we thought the sunset performance for Roethlisberger. Obviously, got shelved himself, couldn't move too much, not as accurate as we used to seeing him, and consequently, his swan song was pretty bad as his boys go down 42-21 against the Patriots. So, it's kind of what you expected. These are two of the better teams in the league. They were facing teams that, one had a young quarterback, wasn't ready. The other team had an older quarterback. And really, speaking of that, it's really just, to me, and I mentioned this last week, it's just the good graces of the San Diego coach wanting to do everything by the book that really Pittsburgh even got in there, because we really could have had a tie, as the Raiders were trying to do, and it should have been it really was. It should have been a tie. But all that being said, that's the swan song for Roethlisberger. He's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame, possibly a first ballot Hall of Famer. The only question some people have is some of his off the field conduct. But at the end of the day, it's like somebody wrote, hey, the guy was exonerated of all the charges that came against him over the years. And, really since I think 2011, he's pretty much been a model citizen. So seems that he's learned from his miscues and has moved on. So, but at the end of the day, Pittsburgh is out. Kansas City is in. We look forward to see what they're going to do next week as the playoffs continue to roll forward. All right, we're going to talk about the NFC. We'll take one more break, and we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Please don't go anywhere, folks. Stay right here. We'll be back. I promise. Hang on.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, we are back here wrapping up. We talked the Bills and the Patriots. We didn't talk too much about the Raiders and Bengals, but we do want to talk in the NFC about Dallas versus the 49ers. A crazy ending to that game, finding Dak Prescott unable to spike the ball to get one more play for Dallas to take a shot to win that ball game. Tree, did you watch the game much? And if so, what were your thoughts about that crazy ending?
Yes, I definitely did watch the game. And I felt so bad for Dallas because obviously they did not know the rules and how long it would take. And I just, and no one's to say that if they did know the rules and he stopped sooner and didn't run so far and had more time on the clock, that they would have scored a touchdown anyway. But I just really hate for them to have to end their season that way.
Tyrone Poole, your thoughts about that crazy ending of that ball game?
It's called situational football. You got to understand the situation. You got to understand the situation. And, I put it on Dak. I put it on, the head coach. But you got to know the situation, okay? You don't have no timeouts, okay? I understand, okay, hey, let's get the first down. Even if you say you want to run the ball, quarterback sneak, okay? Because they were playing on the defense where, hey, a quarterback sneak is a great play. But you got to understand the scenario. So if you are going to run the ball, I think they needed, 1 yard or so? Man, as soon as you get to 1 yard, go down. But he kept running. And then he tries to go down. Man, come on now. You're burning time out the clock. And so all the excuses you want to say you were bumped and all this and that, it's called situational football. And that's how you win championships. You win championships by understanding the situation and making sure you understand how you're going to attack the day. So kind of like Kirby Smart, attack the day, attack the situation, man.
Yeah, kind of a crazy ending. You can see here behind me some of the activity here in that final game, and it also at final moments. Also, there was a strange call by the referee where it looked like the 49ers had a first down to actually kind of wrap the game up, but Dallas did in fact get the ball back. And then we had El Fiasco. Everybody talks about the fact, you talk about time management. They said that basically on that play, when you have 14 seconds left, the idea is to run off at the most 8 seconds. You pick up 8, 9, 10 yards, hit the ground, referee give them the ball, and now you have your shot to do a couple of things, allegedly. Either take a Hail Mary, which you're kind of close for that, but more importantly, to try to have five guys running those go routes. And the hope is that somebody either bumps into somebody, you get a pass interference, or somebody gets open and you're able to make a play that gives you a touchdown. And unfortunately, go ahead.
But here's the thing too. Now you got to factor in the referees. Now that referee got to come. I think he came from a long distance to try to get that ball and place it. They're not going to snap the ball until that referee marks the ball, spot the ball, and okay the ball to be snapped. So again, situational. You got to take in everything, not just what you're going to do, but other people that are involved. So again, it's situational football, man. And I'm telling you, if you don't know situational football, I don't care how talented you are, you will lose.
And no doubt. And this is what we've seen repeatedly in postseason play. And I know a lot of people, we share this on the Falcons, a lot of Falcons group pages. And this has been the bane of existence for the Falcons in their years when they had their playoff runs. That Dan Quinn, who of course is the defense coordinator for Dallas, and once again being looked at as a head coaching candidate, it's time management. And I say to myself, these coaches, they're bringing these guys in, they're making a ton of money, and you still can't understand clock and time management. Mike McCarthy is a guy that went to Super Bowl with the Packers, had multiple 10-win seasons, and it's just incredible how these guys, and like you said, they even said this is a play we practice. Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, where was the disconnect between him and Dak? Now I say, hey man, remember, go about 5-10 yards and hit the ground.
There you go.
5-10 yards, because the play is designed to 5 to 10 yards, try to get the ball in the middle of the field and go down. That's it, because all you're trying to do is set up the second play. You're not going to score a touchdown on a running play with 10, 15 seconds left to go, and you're 45 yards from the goal line. Am I right or wrong?
You're right, Jonathan. I'm actually go back. I know a lot of Falcon fans, they still, hurt over that Super Bowl. But sometimes there's a situation where you don't understand the situation. But then there's a time when it was a player's error. And I think that was a Dak Prescott era. And I'll go back to the Super Bowl. That was a Freeman era, when Freeman did not block Hightower. Because at the end of the day, I know a lot of Falcons don't want to hear this, but Julio Jones was wide open. Yep. And that's who Matt Ryan was going to. But because Freeman went too far up into the line of scrimmage He missed that block on Hightower, and then boom, the ball comes out. So yeah, everybody want to say Dan Quinn, Mike Shanahan, they should have been doing this, but they called a play that was going to be, you know what, it was going to work. But again, players still got to carry out the play. So, but the coaches, it falls back on the coaching.
I have a statement to make since we're talking about the Falcons.
Go ahead.
And since last week, my computer cut me off. But who was the one who predicted that the Falcons would go 7-10 this season?
Ooh, was it you, Tree?
It was. Do you remember that, Jonathan? Do you remember that, Jonathan?
You got Jonathan going to his shades, man.
You know, it's not shade, though. I mean, it's factual information because, Jonathan, you predicted 10-7, right?
Jonathan said 10-7. He said,
yeah, he thought the Falcons were going to go 10-7. His was the opposite of mine. You remember that, don't you, Jonathan? You don't remember that, Tyrone?
You put him on the spot. I forgot.
Oh.
I forgot what I said. What did I say?
I want to go to the full camera shot for a second. I want to go to the full camera shot. I want y'all can see the hurt on my face here because the queen is smooth. See, that's smooth shade. She goes, I don't want to say something. She goes, I predicted 7-10. She said 2 times, Tyrone. I predicted 7-10. Then she said, oh, but Jonathan predicted 10-7. Wow, that was real smooth. That was real smooth, Queen. Everybody forgot all about that. Everybody forgot all about that.
I didn't, because when I saw that the record was 7-10, I was like, oh, well, what you looking there?
Congratulations, Tree. That's not shade, Tree. That's the facts. That's facts. No shade. Take them glasses off, Jonathan. She ain't throwing no shade. She throwing facts at you, Jonathan.
Exactly.
There you go. Tree throwing facts at you.
Let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. What they say in church? Said, tell the truth and shame the devil. So I gotta tell the truth. Oh, going them Falcons, man. They messed me up, man. And they could have done it. The thing that killed me, they could have done it. That Washington game was a game they had in their hands. That was a game they should have won. They at least made them, 9-8? No, they still would have messed up. Lord have mercy. Anyway, the Falcons it's a lot of, when you look at that team, they just need help in so many areas. It's just hard. Now, what is interesting is that they have spoken very highly of one of the young linemen that they drafted last year. They said that, I think it's Chris Lindstrom, has really come a long way. And they say if he can continue to develop, they may actually have another at least serviceable guy like Jake Matthews, that if they can get some other pieces around, that'll be it. But I tell you one thing, that dude Mayfield, man, he almost got mad. Kill that guy. Jalen Mayfield was terrible, dude, terrible. But you know what I think that happened, Tyrone? Because once again, a team put a player in not the best position to win. This guy was a tackle in college. Now, I know he's not fast enough to do in the pros, but you put a guy in a whole different position as a rookie, I don't think nothing good's going to happen. It didn't happen with him.
I tell you what we need to do. We need to right now, like, we only got 4 games this week. We need to go ahead and put our picks in and we come back and see who has the best record coming back after this week's of playoffs. You know, we got the Bengals in Tennessee, 49ers and the Packers, the Rams and the Buccaneers, which that's going to be a good one. And then the
thumper.
Yes. So
that's going to be a thumper, bro.
It's going to be a thumper. All right, so who wants to go first? I know we're running low on time. Bengals and Titans.
I'm going Titans.
All right, Tree. Let me see. Bengals and Titans.
Write this down, Terrell. You the secretary.
Appreciate it right now. Bengals and Titans.
Appreciate you.
Titans. Okay. So Tree got Titans. You say you got the big. You say the Titans, Tree.
Titans.
Okay. Tree. Who you got, Jonathan?
All right. Because I got a chance to interview the young man, he seemed like a very likable fella. I'm going to pick the upset that Joe Burrows and the Bengals going to shake up the world and beat the Titans. So I'm picking Bengals.
Ooh, you know what? That's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be.
So it's Todd.
Joe Burrow and they playing pretty good mixing. You know, I like their play calling. The defense kind of stepped up, but I don't know. I just think Henry gonna come back, man. That dude is fired up. I'm with Tree. I'm going with the Titans.
All right. So we got 2 Titans and 1 Bengals. All right. Next game, sir. Next game.
All right. 49ers and the Packers. You guys have at it. Your reasons why. Who you got?
Now this is the one that's getting me. All the rest I'm like, but this is going to be a really good game. But I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to have to go with the Packers on this one. This is a tough one, but I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, Tree know what time it is. NFC North. I can't go against my boys. That's my original team I grew up liking. As a matter of fact, the very first Super Bowl was played on my 8th birthday, and the Packers won. That was the start of their back-to-back championship. So I'm going Aaron Rodgers because I think he's a man on a mission. He's trying to prove that he's the best quarterback, or at least he can challenge Tom Brady for it. So I'll put the Packers to hold off those 49ers.
Yeah,
at home too.
I think we all going with the Packers here. We all going
with a clean sweep, baby.
Clean sweep. I think we all
even Todd says the Packers.
Okay, Todd's with us. Okay,
that's what I'm talking about.
Bucks and the Rams. This is the one right here, baby. I'm like, what? I don't know. This right here, this like it depends on how the table is leaning, because both of these jokers, Matthew Stafford, man, he did very well, and Aker, he did very well running the ball, man. And I'm like, they got Odell Beckham on the outs. I don't know, man. They got a defense that can put pressure on Tom. Front four.
This is another tough one.
Yes,
this is another tough one. One thing I have learned is that I am not going against Tom Brady, so I'm going with the Buccaneers. But this will be a very good game.
Jonathan.
Once again, I can't believe it. 2 for 2. I'm going with Todd. I'm liking the pack of the Rams. Now, he says it won't be close. I don't think that, but I do. The reason why I like the Rams is for what Tyrone mentioned. The Rams have the ability to do something that no quarterbacks like, but especially Tom Brady. If you look at his record when teams can do this, he's good, but he's not as good as he normally is. That is to put pressure on him up the middle. Brady's a drop back quarterback. He likes to step in that pocket, and I think the Rams are going to give him a lot of trouble because they can rush up the middle because they have one of the great linemen of all time playing there, Aaron Donald. So I think it's going to be very, very tough for them to throw the ball. Now, the big key is, can they run? But I just think the Rams are on a mission. I think that Aaron Donald is going to give him pressure at the middle. And if we forget that suddenly now Von Miller is showing you why the Rams traded for him as he's starting to round in the form. So, yeah, I just think the Rams are going to do it. And they're going to make Mr. Brady take an early vacation that he hasn't done for a long time.
Yeah, I think just like what you're thinking, Jonathan, I'm going with the Rams. So Tree, you on this one on your own. I'm going with the Rams for the simple fact, I think they're going to put Ramsey on Mike Evans. And they're going to say, hey, you got him all day long. Lock him up. That's why we brought you in here for. That's what we paid you for. And then you got Von Miller rushing from the outside, Aaron Donald, push him up the middle. And now we're going to sit back and play zone. We're just going to rush forward. Similar thing that the Giants did back when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They just had Michael Strahan, O.C. Umanera, and Pierre Paul. They just rushed 4 people and sat back there, and Tom had a headache, man. So I just think the Rams offense is doing pretty good too, so I'm going with the Rams.
All right, real quick, we'll go around social media, and we have to jump off the air. H.C. Hardy, this is what he says. Bengals by 6, Packers by 14. He said Garoppolo will choke. He always has a chip since the 49ers didn't draft him. Rams by 10. It will be the Stafford OBJ show. Let's go to H.C. Hardy one time. He said Godwin will drop balls again, and Brady is going to miss AB this game. But that's another story. And Todd says, write this down. Rams win big. Ooh, Todd says the Rams are going to knock Brady out of the game. Wow. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. We got to go around and let everybody know.
We got one more game.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead. Quick.
Bills and the Chiefs.
Quick.
Bills and the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
All right, Tree got Chiefs. Jonathan.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
All right. I think I'm gonna take them Bills. I'm going with the Bills. So
that's right. AFC East man all the way. Yes, sir.
All right. We're gonna see what our record's gonna be.
All right, guys. You know how we do it. We
can't wait to see.
And Todd even says Chiefs also. All right, we got to wrap it up, guys. You know how we do it. We like to go around and let everybody know how they can find out more about you, social media, and the website. So, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Easy. Tyrone Poole, 38, all social media. Tyrone Poole, 38, all social media. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Queen. Always fun.
Thank you, Tyrone.
All right, Tyrone. See you next time. All right, Miss Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. You can find me on all social media. It's Latresa, as well as Miss Internet. I'm sorry, I was looking at that. Miss America International 2021. It's been what, like 2.5, 3 months, Jonathan? You still haven't changed it? So
Wow.
that's why I was looking at it. Made me laugh. But you can catch me on all social media at It's Latresa, as well as Miss America International 2021.
The Queen has spoken. All right. All right, guys. You can follow me on social media, with or without shades. It's real easy. First, follow the show if you could, please. This is what it is here. It's at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can follow me personally at Minister J Sim. If you want to contact me, if you have a good story that you want to have on the Real Talk Sports, so if you want to come on, or if you want to be part of our advertising group, here you go. Hit me up on the email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or simply call me on the cell 678-410-9833. All right, guys, before I go, I always ask you, do you have a relationship with God? Do you know the Lord? Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell you, get to know him through his son, Jesus Christ, today. Because nobody loves you like Jesus, not your mom, not your auntie, not your grandmama, not your bae, not your boo, not your BFF, not your ride and die partner. Nobody loves you like him. Why? Because he made you and he died for you. And when he rose from the dead, he had a wonderful gift called salvation. And 2 great things happen. Number 1, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number 2, you become an adoptive child of God and all the rights therein. That means you can now go to God, the maker of heaven and earth, and ask him anything that you need or desire. And according to his will, he'll give it to you. And the best thing is, when you die, you go to that happy place called heaven and avoid that nasty place called hell. I don't know about you, but I like option number 1 better than option number 2. All right, guys, until the next time, I hope you have a wonderful and safe rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. And you know how we do it. God bless you and have a great night. Bye-bye.